Oh, it's itching. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her.
Hey y'all, what's up? So today is a June TBR, so the books that I plan on reading in June. And I'm gonna be honest with you, today is May 26th. So I haven't finished my May reading yet, but May was definitely a slow month for me. I have not read a whole lot. So based on what I've read in May, this June TBR is definitely ambitious. I have 11 books on here, which is what I read for like February and March, but not for May. So, I mean, if I don't get through them all, that's fine. I just wanted to give myself enough variety and enough options in case I do end up going past the books that I've read so far in May. All right, let's get started. So first we have two self-help books that I've been working on for like 3 months. The first one is called Heart Healing by Susan Reeve. It's the power of forgiveness to heal a broken heart. Basically, I bought this, I think at the beginning of this year. I've just been like going through some like heartbreaking stuff. And I just kind of came to the realization that I needed a little bit of help getting through it. But I was like, you know what, let me get this book. Seems like there's going to be a lot of good information in it. Now I've only gotten, I don't know, maybe like halfway through it. So my goal is for June to finish it so I can move on to some of my other self-help books, because I think I have like 5 more. I typically don't read them. I'll pick them up and then I won't read them because I'm always reading fiction, as you guys probably know. Next, another one. This is Women Who Love Too Much by Robin Norwood. This was actually recommended to me by my therapist back when I was going to therapy before she started not accepting insurance. And I think we had like 2 sessions, no, I think we had 3 sessions total. And I think in the second session, she was like, get this book now. And I said, okay. So I'm not super far. I'm on page 69. And there's like 320 pages, but what I've read of it so far, I think it's great. It is based on like men and women, but you can apply it to, I guess, any type of partnership that you have. But yeah, she just like goes into detail about why typically women, now some men do this too and are you know, guilty of the habits and things in here, but for the most part it's typically women that relate to relationships this way. But she just kind of goes into like how your childhood affects the way you look at relationships and why you're always going through the same cycle of caring about people too much and doing too much for people who don't give a crap about you, basically. So I'm gonna finish that one in June. Next, we have 2 books that are probably familiar to you guys because they were in my TBR that I have never read. And the first one is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Once again, I got this like 3 or 4 years ago. I loved the play, but I never actually read it. And for those of you who don't know, Wicked is basically the story of the Wicked Witch of the West and how she came to be who she was, and she wasn't always bad, and like her story, her trials and tribulations, all that good stuff. Then we have The Shack by W.M. Paul Young. Quick synopsis: this one's about a woman named Mackenzie whose daughter was murdered some time ago, and then fast forward a few years later, she gets a note from God inviting her to go back to the place where her daughter was murdered. This is one of the ones, had it on my shelf forever. I'm gonna finally try to get to it next month, and I will let you guys know my thoughts on that one. Then we have Gone But Not Forgotten by Philip Margolin. This one is a psychological thriller, I believe, and I've had this on my shelf for a while too. It's a pretty long synopsis, but let's see. In Portland, Oregon, the wives of several prominent businessmen have disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only a black rose and a note with a simple message: gone but not forgotten. An identical series of disappearances occurred in Hunters Point, New York 10 years ago, but the killer was caught, the case was closed, and the Special Rose Killer Task Force was disbanded. So I believe it follows a few different people. As I said, psychological thriller, whodunit, the person who had previously committed these crimes is now dead. So excited to get to this. I haven't read a psychological thriller in, that's a lie, I just read one in May. I haven't read a good psychological thriller in a while, and this one seems like it's like gonna be pretty good. Next we have The Bad Wolf by, I don't know if it's Neil Niehaus, I'm not sure. I know for a fact, I think this was translated from German, and this is the second book. It's a sequel, and I've been like trying to figure out if I can read this like standalone or if like I'm gonna need to read the first one. I got this one in Goodwill. The first one is called Snow White Must Die, and I think these were the only two books by this author that were translated from German to English. I'm gonna try to read it without having read Snow White Must Die and kind of see what happens. But this one is once again a psychological thriller. The body of a 16-year-old girl washes up on a riverbank outside of Frankfurt. She's been murdered. And then a new case comes in that's too similar to be ignored. Yada yada yada. So once again, crime, whodunit, mystery, psychological thriller type of situation. As I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to understand everything that's going on since this one is a sequel, but if not, I have more than enough books to kind of switch over to. And I will keep you guys updated on that as well. Next, we have the Guinevere Deception. This has been on my list for a while too. I got this in the book of the month. I want to say sometime last year, and I just kind of never got around to it. But from what I know, this is a retelling of King Arthur. Mind you, I have no idea what King Arthur is about. So it says, Princess Guinevere has come to Camelot to wed a stranger. Guinevere's real name and her true identity is a secret. She is a changeling, a girl who has given up everything to protect Camelot, and she's there to keep King Arthur safe, who is supposed to be her to-be wed, her to-be soon-to-be husband. So yeah, you know, just like your typical run-of-the-mill fantasy, young adult, super excited, can't wait. Then we have Anna K. This was also a book of the month book. This is supposed to be like a retelling of Anna Karenina, which once again, I have no idea what that's supposed to be about. But this is set in Manhattan and like New York, and it's with like the posh, super rich high school kids that no one can relate to. So it says, meet Anna K. At 17, she's at the top of Manhattan and Greenwich society. She has the perfect boyfriend and has always made her Korean American father proud. As her friends struggle with the pitfalls of teenage life, Anna always seems to sail gracefully above it all. That is until she meets Alexia Count Vronsky, a notorious playboy. He's everything Anna is not. Ooh. Yeah. Dizzy, glorious, heart-stopping experience of first love and first heartbreak. I'm down. This is like, it's up my alley. Now, I have read some of it. I've only gotten like 37 pages in. I'm not a huge fan of the writing style so far. The writing just seems very kind of juvenile and like fast-paced. I'm not much for like a love at first sight type situation, but I will finish it in June and I will let you guys know. And then last but not least, we have this trilogy. Now I recently, not recently, like a month ago, a month and a half ago, I ordered some more books off of Amazon. And yesterday I also ordered some more books off of Book Outlet, like 25 of them. But this is the Grishaverse series by Leigh Bardugo. There's Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising. Now, I know for a fact that I've read Shadow and Bone before, but it was a really long time ago. Back when I was living with my dad and going to community college, I would stay up at the library all the time. And I remember reading Shadow and Bone. So orphaned and expendable, Alina Starkov is a soldier who knows she may not survive her first trek across the Shadow Fold. But when her regiment is attacked, Alina unleashes a dormant magic not even she knew she possessed. Now she'll enter a world of royalty and intrigue as she trains with the Grisha, her country's magical military elite, and falls under the spell of their notorious leader, the Darkling. There's 3 books, clearly, and I put all 3 of them on my list because I'm not one of those people who can like read a book and then not read the sequel right after. I want to read them like boom, 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 boom. I don't really like any time between my books. So 11 books. As I said, a little ambitious. Definitely looking at like what I've read this month, which I think I'm at like 4 or 5. I don't know. But yeah, as always, I will keep you guys posted and updated. I will do like a June, I'll start doing like a June wrap up or whatever, just to kind of let you guys know what I got through, what I thought of the books, my ratings, and all of that jazz. But yeah, hopefully this is a short video, fingers crossed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you're reading any new books. I know things are kind of opening back up here in California, so wherever you guys are from, like if you're still in quarantine and you're still bored out of your mind, definitely suggest reading, taking your mind off some stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.